Let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. It's on this topic.
Hi, guys. Love the show. Love the season. Quick question. Do you really think Travis Hunter is a better receiver than McMillan? Hunter's pretty light. I'm a little worried about how he's going to hold up in the rough and ready division the Browns are in. Tell me what you think, guys. Thanks.
All right. Well, along those lines, McMillan has visited the Cowboys, Raiders, Chargers, Patriots, Browns, Seahawks, Panthers, Saints. So there's 3 more visits. 1 executive from a playoff team. True star level tools, elite production. Our entire building loved him. No way he makes it to us. And that's a guy that's drafting, obviously, bottom of round 1. Now, there's a couple of things here, Scott. There are some reports nationally that have come out. He doesn't watch film, doesn't really love football, and he's actually on camera talking about doesn't like watching football, doesn't watch his own tape, and those kind of things. Maybe it's because of Justin Gilbert, Corey Coleman. Those kind of things scare the bejeebies out of me with elite talent. When I see that, it's like, oh no, I don't want to live through that again.
Yeah, I mean, how often do we hear the Browns talk about a guy who loves football? I mean, that's something they really look for. And you can have that question about multiple guys. I mean, that was a question about DeJuan Jones when he was coming out because he was a former basketball player. I mean, I think it's a question about Myles Garrett because he loved basketball so much. And I don't have that concern about Myles Garrett anymore. But I think it was at some point along the line. Does he really love football? I have a hard time drafting a guy that you have that kind of question about in the first round. If you want to take a flyer on him and then hope he has a, or not a flyer, but take him in the second round or the bottom of the first and hope he has a chip on his shoulder or think he's just so talented or you can coach him into it or whatever, that's fine. But I'd be scared if that were true and you sat down with him and he didn't convince you otherwise, I'd be scared to take him in the top 10. And I haven't watched a ton of film on him. But I'll tell you what, I watched a bunch of Travis Hunter film, and I have a hard time believing that he's better than Hunter. Hunter with the ball in his hands is special. He's special going up and getting the ball. I feel like if you throw it in his direction, it can be a touchdown at any play. So I would have Hunter as my number 1 receiver without thinking about it.
So, and here's again, I said earlier in the show I had some concerns. Hunter plays in the Big 12, and again, I know it's power 4 now, whatever. It seems like they run more run and shoot, more spread, and I have concerns with putting a guy that I value him as a playmaker. I agree with you with the ball in his hands. I love that. I have a question though. Do I want a guy that I'm that enamored with and view him as a playmaker? Do I want him coming up trying to tackle Derrick Henry 8 to 10 times, 12 times a game? And again, I know it's football. I know I just those are the concerns that I have with Hunter and playing both ways.
Yeah, I get that. And, I talked to Pat Shermer, his coordinator, the former Browns coach. I'm actually hoping to talk to Pat again because we talked so much about Shadur, and it was just real quick about Hunter at the end of our conversation before the combine. But, his point was things slow down in the NFL. There's not as many plays. He can handle it. Travis Hunter can handle it, playing both sides of the ball a bunch. But that's more aerobic. And it's not the pounding that you take in the NFL, whether you're getting hit on offense or trying to make a tackle on defense or getting blocked on defense. So I understand what you're saying. And I think it is a delicate balance. But I would go back to my point that I think in order for him to be the number 2 pick, he's got to help you on both sides of the ball. So, and maybe I'm splitting hairs if you draft him at 2 versus you draft him at 7 as a receiver. I just feel like at 2, I want to see him play both sides of the ball. So if you're not comfortable with that, and he wants to play both sides of the ball, but if you're not comfortable with that from an organizational standpoint, I think you pass on him because I think he is going to play both ways.